The latest system of Beyblade X, known as Beyblade CX, looks to improve the system by expanding customization, adding even more details to bays, and it also releases on March 29th. So how are we already seeing the Hasbro versions of these bays? Throughout the last 25 years of Beyblade history, one of the most long-standing rules has been the fact that Takara Tomy is ahead of Hasbro when it comes to Beyblade releases. So imagine my and pretty much the entire community's surprise when we got pictures of Hasbro CX. I was actually at a Beyblade tournament whenever this news initially dropped, so I was able to experience the surprise with everybody else, and this is a surprise. To see a Hasbro CX Bay before the Takara Tomy release even drops is just groundbreaking. We have never seen that before. I do want to give a major shout out to Zero Burst as well as the Beyblade Australia network, because without them, we would not have gotten pictures of the Hasbro Ark Wizard, at least not yet. Fast forward a few days and travel across the world to the New York Toy Fair, where we not only got more Hasbro CX pictures, but what also looks to be a massive chunk of the X lineup for this year. I do want to give another shout out, but this time to Moon Mist Blue, or Peggy on Twitter. They were able to actually go to the New York Toy Fair and take a bunch of these pictures, so big shout out to them, and of course I'll leave all of my sources in the description down below. This video is all about Hasbro CX bays releasing later this year, but if you guys want to get CX earlier than that, they have the entire CX lineup with bays like Perseus Dark and Dran Brave up for pre-order right now. And if you want to get some of the older Beyblade releases like Samurai Saber or Impact Drake, they have those up for sale as well. So go and check them out, link in the description down below, and make sure to use code ilinnuc to get 5% off. So now let's finally talk about the bays, starting with Ark Wizard. Let's start off with the box design first, and as you can see, it is very similar to the previous Hasbro box design, but because it is CX, it has a new secondary color. This time it is pink, or more specifically a magenta, which does follow Takara Tomy's lead. We can also see all of the new CX parts right in the front of the box, so we know that they are keeping these pieces, which is not a surprise, but there were some people that were worried that maybe Hasbro would go back to their old mistakes of removing gimmicks and removing metal and details, etc., but these bays look to be the exact same as Takara Tomy, which is huge.
That's what she said.
Now let's look at the back of the box, and we can see it's very similar once again to the previous Hasbro releases. We see Ark Wizard R, 455, and Low Orb in all of their stats, but we now have a new secondary section which gives us details on all of the CX parts, and this is mostly the same as Takara Tomy, but they did change up the names a little bit. Lock chip is the same. Primary blade is, I believe, the same. The only difference is that it's no longer assist blade. Hasbro calls it the auxiliary blade, which I think sounds really cool. It's kind of extra. It's a little bit harder to say, auxiliary versus assist, but I think that's a cool name. But we did not just see boxes. We actually saw the full bays themselves. So looking at Ark Wizard first, you can see it close up, and probably the best detail we've seen, whether it's from Takara Tomy or Hasbro. Takara Tomy is pretty much only revealed like CGI pictures, and they also did like a little commercial for it on their YouTube channel, but seeing a CX Bay in the wild is just insane. Next up, we have the Dran Evolution, and this one they changed up a little bit more for the name. The Takara Tomy version is called Dran Brave. The Hasbro one is called Courage Dran, which once again, I kind of like. I have nothing against this name. In fact, I may actually like it better. And the reason why is because we had a Brave Valkyrie. which I know it's, maybe inspired from Valkyrie, but having Brave Valkyrie and Dran Brave could be kind of confusing, and Courage just sounds more interesting. While recording this video, I actually noticed a pretty interesting difference between the real Courage Dran and the render that Hasbro uses on the front of the box. But if you look closely, it has these red and blue stickers, which is not like the other Takara Tomy render at all. And we also see a physical Courage Dran at Toy Fair, and the stickers don't match there either, so that's kind of interesting. What do you guys think about these red stickers? I kind of like them, and I kind of wish it was red on the real Bay, but I'm assuming this is just kind of a early prototype mistake. The next CX Bay we have is Dark Perseus, which is pretty cool that they're keeping the Perseus name. Some people were maybe hoping they would change it to Destroyer to match Gravity Destroyer from the Metal Fight gen, but they are sticking with Perseus, which I like a little bit better. And once again, this looks the exact same as the Takara Tomy release. We do see a big part spread, which is pretty cool. We can see all of these parts in better detail than we could before. Wedge is still looking pretty interesting. I don't know how to feel about that bit or if it's going to be good at all, so let me know your thoughts in the comments. And then we have what is probably the most surprising Hasbro CX reveal, and that is for Reaper Incendio. Now, the Takara Tomy version, Hell's Reaper, is going to be releasing in a random booster in April, and we haven't even gotten a full picture breakdown of the Bay yet. So the fact that Hasbro is showing this off before the Takara Tomy major reveal is just insane. And I'm probably going to mention how crazy this is multiple times, but this is just not something I have ever seen before. But not only do we see the entire box design, which has all of the parts on the front, we see the back of the box, which details all of the pieces, including the new bit, which is called K. I don't think anybody knows what K means yet. I'm thinking, and this is kind of like a potential, I'm just speculating that it could mean kick. I don't know, maybe. But K does look to be a flatter version of taper, or like a semi-flat taper, which is good. Taper is pretty solid and is used a lot in competitive combos, so I have high hopes for K, which, once again, I am hoping and speculating to mean kick. And we also just straight up got pictures of the new Bay, just by itself, which is once again insane, and we're not going to be seeing this from Takara Tomy for over a month, so that is just wild. And we can see the new parts, we can see the entire combo put together, and the Bay does look really good. It looks a little bit better than I was expecting from the initial kind of CX reveal, and for some reason, it just really reminds me of HMS, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. While that was the final Hasbro CX bit of news, there were way more reveals from Toy Fair, including a new double pack, which has Pearl Tiger and Gill Shark. So Gill Shark is kind of interesting, okay, because it is actually a Shelter Drake remix, or Echo, which I think people are calling it. And we just got Shelter Drake a month ago. So the fact that we're getting a remix to it pretty soon, I assume, is wild. We also got pictures of another double pack, this time being a UX and BX hybrid pack, and it's going to include the blue Sphinx cowl, which I believe was originally in the Phoenix Rudder set, I think, and it also is going to come with Leon Crest, which is nice. It's a nice way to get the Bay. Being in a double pack is kind of unfortunate. I'm not the biggest fan of Sphinx cowl. It's not one of my favorite Bays, but I think this double pack is worth it just for Leon Crest alone. We also got pictures of Obsidian Shell, which is a booster release. This is the Hasbro version of Black Shell, which is great. It's not one of my favorite Bays. I don't really use Black Shell that much, but it was a random booster prize. just like Hell's Reaper. So the fact that Hasbro is releasing it as a like $8 booster is just awesome. They're releasing it by itself. They're making it as accessible as possible, which is awesome. I wish Takara Tomy would do more of that. And there were also pictures of a new line of collaboration bays, this time over Jurassic World. The World movies I'm just not very fond of, so I don't really care about these bays much. However, for all of the dinosaur fans out there, there's just a ton to like here. We have a T-Rex bay, and we also have a bunch of dinosaurs I can't pronounce the name of, like Quetzalcoatlus.
Quetzalcoatlus.
We also have no idea when these bays are going to be released from Hasbro. I've seen some people say July, which I just don't believe at all. And I've seen some people say it'll be in the fall or like the end of this year. So it's a pretty wide range. We really have no idea. I don't think it's going to be releasing in July. That just seems really, really early to me. There are still a ton of UX bays that we see here in this reveal that have not been released yet. So I'm assuming we're going to be seeing the Leon Crest double pack and Obsidian Shell maybe in like April. And then this CX stuff could be, August or September. I want you guys to imagine a world where Hasbro and Takara Tomy are able to release their bays at the same time. I don't think that's ever going to happen, but if it did, would you ever buy Takara Tomy ever again? But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I may have missed some bays or some details, but overall, I wanted to be really focused on these new CX releases because of just the craziness that was this reveal. So if you guys are hyped for Hasbro CX, let me know in the comments down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. We're going to try and hit 1,000 likes or something. And I will see you in the next one. Have fun and bay away.